Hi, am I on the air?
Yep.
Fuck.
Thanks.
I've been in the danger zone.
He got it back. Minus 5 stars.
Mango.
Huh?
Yeah, we got for you.
Jeff Harvey.
How much is a skyway?
Play.
We'll play 21.
Hi, am I on the air?
Yep.
Fuck.
Thanks.
Do I have everybody's attention now? Do I have everybody's attention now?
Don, I got you.
Don, do I have everybody's
Sunday
attention
night.
now?
You put them cameras on me, then you must be willing to get that heart touch. This a must-see feeling. The news ain't good, then it must be villain. So I say a tag grounded. I don't trust these ceilings. Spread across your nose, and I'm on your ear. Highest necks on the cloud. Hammer in the air. Sunday nights, prime time. I flex mine better. Voltron transform to DX Don Mega and Off-Scene. You probably think I'm nice, cause I flow like a stream to your wireless device. And the smoke full of steam on any given night. I'll short like a piece of any given slice. And for the latest and what is best about, I tune in and tune the rest out. Don, you gotta tell them, am I in the clear? Is this thing on? Am I on the air? On the air?
Well, what is going down, everybody? Welcome back to another exciting edition of Am I Still on the Air? Yes, you know what it is. It's the spin-off show of Am I on the Air, where we basically take one specific topic and we dive into it. And today it's a little bit different. We're not doing a spoiler review. We're not talking about the MCU or the DCCU. We're actually going to do a little bit of an interview, and we're going to have a pretty cool conversation here. I talked about it for the last couple of weeks on my show. Every week, you hear this theme song come on, you know, do I have everybody's attention now? And then you hear this theme song. If you've been listening to this show from the very beginning, you've heard a couple different versions of this song, and it's by this man that's with me right here. His name is Sparrow. He is awesome, and I wanted to bring him on. We're going to chat about his upcoming EP. We're going to talk about some entertainment stuff, and we're just going to have a cool little conversation, man. So I'm so happy to get this guy on. He's so busy. We got to, run around and rearrange dates and everything, try to get synced up. But we got it synced up. We are here. So today's Am I Still on the Air is all about this man right here. Sparrow, what up?
Yes, sir, man. What's going on?
There he
What's
is.
going on? Am I still on the air? All the people that's listening, talk to me, man. What's up?
Oh, dude, I'm happy to have you on, man. Like, let me give everybody a little brief history here. We go way, way back from Twitter.
Yes.
Started on Twitter probably 4 to 5 years ago.
For future endeavors.
Yep. We did, we started a little podcast back a little over 4 years ago. It was a wrestling podcast called Future Endeavors.
Yes.
And Sparrow jumped on board, and he was like, man, I'm a fan, and we started talking on Twitter and everything, and I thought it was so cool that I was like, man, we got this indie rapper, he's like this big fan of the show, and it's tight. I was so stoked that you enjoyed what we did, and we were able to work it out. We were using some generic-ass theme song, and then we worked it out with you, and you made us this bomb-ass theme that everybody loved. I mean, you saw the love from it. I mean, everybody was just like listening to the show, and they're like, who does that intro? And it was super exciting, to have that for the show. And then we spun off and we created this show here, Am I on the Air? We wanted to do an entertainment show, and it was back when I co-hosted the show with Nick, and you did the theme for the original Am I on the Air as well. Am I on the Air with Nick and Don, and it was a great theme, man. I love that theme,
I loved it too.
Yeah.
Actually, that was the actual first time I ever did a theme song for a show, and then I got so many offers after that.
Yeah, see, that's awesome, man. But yeah. Shout out to Nick and Don, like Emma on the air radio every Sunday night, man. Like it was so cool to have it. And then last year, Nick dropped out, and I continued the show by myself. So I talked to you, and we needed something fresh. We needed something new, especially one that didn't say Nick in the in the main song.
Yeah.
And and you hooked it up. You took the time, and I really appreciate it every time you've come through. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer than we initially
Yeah.
expect, but we roll with it, and you were able to do the current theme that we run every single week now. So, we love it, and I just there's something about just that intro, man. It just really gets it hype and gets it going and gets it exciting to get the news out there. Tell
Yeah.
me,
I like to set the tone. I think I like to set the tone for that. One of my favorite types of music is actually TV show theme songs. I'll listen to that before I listen to like a regular song. So, just been inspired by that.
yeah, and that's awesome. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, when you're putting together whether it was the Future Endeavors theme or the other two Am I on the Air themes, like when you're like writing, like you only got like what, a little over a minute basically is
Uh-huh.
what you're doing. So like I don't know, give me a little bit of insight into like that process. Like what are you trying to make sure, like, okay, I want to fit this in. Like where are you like pulling that flow from? Like what's your inspiration like to put together?
It's it I oh, come on, you put me on the spot, Don. But
Hey
nah,
man, that's
it's
what
really
interviews.
just to it's really just to set the feeling, like like when you watch the NBA playoffs and they have that song and let you know, okay, I'm about to watch this, or even before like an episode of Raw comes on and they have the opening segment, the Then Now and Forever.
Yeah.
It's to get you ready for what's about to happen, and I just and like I said, I listen to theme music all the time. I have more theme music on my iPad than anything else, any other type of music. So I don't know. I guess it just comes natural to know how to get somebody ready for something, because that's what I'm trying to do. Like I want people to be ready to listen to the show, listen to Am I Still on the Air, and know that this is what's coming in this week.
Yeah. And it does. I mean, you always usually pick especially music wise, like something gets you very hype,
Uh huh.
which is what I love because if it's gonna be hip hop for me, like I like those hype type of
Yeah.
themes, and I remember that was the big thing about that Future Endeavors one was like, I mean, it just you felt like you were going into a fight, like on that one, like with that theme, and and even with the new Am I on the Air one, it's like. I call it new, but we've been using it for about a year now. But but it's like it's just same thing. Like, do I have everybody's attention now? You use that CM Punk drop, which I love at the very beginning of it, and it's like and some people might not know that being an entertainment show,
Yeah.
but I love that aspect of it of just like, boom, we drop the intro and then it's like, do I have everybody's attention now? And, the music kind of chings in and then it's just boom, we're off to the races,
Yeah.
and I love it, man, so it's like, once again, I just, publicly, thank you. I mean, I thank you all the time, but really from the bottom of my heart, I mean, it means a lot. Like, I mean, it lends like a legitimacy to the podcast, to be honest, like it's not just some instrumental music that's just playing in the background for 30 seconds just to kind of say, hey guys, welcome to the show. Like it's like we're legit, like with a theme like that, and I really
Yeah.
do appreciate it. I mean, it means a lot, like, so I
And I appreciate that you reached out consistently to have me work on that. I appreciate the platform.
Yeah, anytime you want to come up with a new one too. I mean, we got to keep it hot here. It's always got to be fresh and new. To just like we relate to TV shows here. Obviously, like if you pay attention to Am I on the Air, you see every week when I introduce the show, I'll tell you like, hey, this is season 10, episode 17.
Yeah.
Like my show. I try to do the show in seasons, almost like TV shows, So it's like you have a season premiere, you have a series, season finale, and stuff like that. And it's like,
Yeah.
and just with an ever evolving show, theme songs a lot of times change with the TV show as well.
Yeah,
like oh, they got a new intro, they got a new theme song. We're big wrestling fans. Raw and SmackDown, they change up that theme like every 6 months.
yeah,
So it's like,
which I hate.
I know. Like I love the for SmackDown, especially when they did the Seven Lions, the Born to Run.
Oh, I love that,
Love Seven Lions, and like Born to Run just fits so perfect for SmackDown. And
especially on a Friday night.
yeah, and I swear they used it for like 3 months, and then they just changed it to like that other song. And I'm like, why would you change it? Because whatever song they're using now is super generic. Like I don't even
Yeah,
know what it is. And it's like you had this like awesome song, that was really gaining momentum and really helping that band out. And then now it's like, I don't know. I don't know why sometimes they do a song for a couple years, and then other times they do it for like 3 months. And
I love how they use Born to Run to go to commercial break. When they
true,
show who's
yeah, they
fighting.
still kind of, but I feel like that's a miscommunication with somebody in the truck. Like somebody doesn't know they changed out the beginning, so they just keep using it in the middle of the show. They're like, "What? We're not using this theme anymore." So it's pretty funny. So, but yeah, so those are the themes. I mean, once again, really appreciated. We might need you to do a separate theme for "Am I Still on the Air?" You know.
I wouldn't mind that.
So we're doing enough of these little spin-off episodes lately that I use I actually, the theme I usually throw on the "Am I Still on the Air" is actually the Botchamania theme from back in the day, so it's pretty funny, just to have something a little bit different. But so all right, well, let's talk. So you got this new song that dropped, and you just released the music video, and we've tweeted it out, and we put it up on the Facebook and stuff, and we'll tweet
And
it
I
out again
appreciate
today.
that, man. I really do.
Of course, man. We always,
And everybody, Don, I don't know if you know, but when you like share my music, I get a lot of response from a lot of your listeners.
and that's awesome. I mean, that's the glory of it, and that's what I hope to get. Is like is sharing that love. And that's why I love when people are like, "Hey, check out that Am I on the Air?" and stuff like that. Like it's that cross kind of promotion of people kind of spreading the love, because it's hard, man. There's millions of people out there, and it's like for every one that might catch it, it's like if they don't say nothing, then nobody else
Yeah.
knows. But if everybody kind of retweets and spreads it, and we'll have a good base going. And that's what I like. And you've been so good to us, and I want to continue to show that respect and love back to you. So that's why it's like every time you drop something, we try to put it on the website, put it on the Facebook, tweet it out, get people to realize, like, hey, check this out. And this is our boy Sparrow. And you know we've
I
been,
appreciate it.
it's cool to see, like, throughout all the EPs you've dropped. I still tell you, man, my favorite, Sveka and Sprite. That's my jam right there, dude. I love that song so
That
much.
was like a great breakthrough for me.
It was so good, dude. It was so good, like beyond good. Like I was like, this is what he needs to break the walls down, basically. Like this is to get to that next level. Like it was like I was spreading that thing like wildfire, and I still to this day can't walk through a grocery store without seeing the Sveka and thinking of you. I'm like, I just need some Sprite.
That was the plan, man. Thank you.
It's true. It's funny because I never even heard of that brand of vodka until your song, and then now it's like every time I go to the grocery store and walk through it, I just see the display, and I'm like, how did I ever miss this all of this time? But it's so obvious to me now, and I'm just like, man, I gotta have my Sveka and Sprite.
Have you ever tried it?
No, I haven't, but I need to, man. It sounds good. If I drink, it's usually vodka. So, and I like Sprite, so I don't see why I wouldn't like it. But yeah, I mean that was like the jam, man. And then like and I followed you through, and it's like, remember when we first hooked up, you were Jack Sparrow.
Yeah.
And I want you to kind of maybe give the evolution of your name, because I felt like we've gone through a couple iterations of it throughout the years. Like what? So what? Did you get any beef or any heat, since we're an entertainment show, from from Disney or anything?
Yes, I did,
Feeling like, oh,
exactly.
you're ripping off Jack Sparrow. What's
Yes.
going on?
Yes, I did. When I started doing major move, because the name, I started using the name when I was in high school, and I really, and to be truthfully honest with you, I didn't think that anything would have really came from music. But then I got picked up for the Nike tour, and when you like, I don't know, it just spread it. It just spread it so quick, and then all of a sudden, my manager is contacting me saying that they got a cease and desist letter saying I can't use the name anymore. Like they wasn't gonna go and try to sue me because I don't think that they could keep a finger on the pulse of the dollar amount that I was making as an independent artist. But they did tell me that I had to drop the whole Jack Sparrow name. And because with the Nike tour, my name was being posted up on billboards, and I was next to LeBron James, so it was kind of like it was wrong. But I didn't think that far into it because I wasn't that much into the business side of things.
Right.
So I was told that I could not use the name anymore. So I just switched it to J Sparrow,
Right.
and from J Sparrow, I had J Sparrow. I didn't even do nothing when I was J Sparrow. Actually, I was trying to wait for Sparrow to be cleared, the SPA77ow, and when it cleared, I just dropped the J, and now I just go by Sparrow.
Yeah, you had a P Diddy moment going on
Yeah.
there. We're like, okay, he's P Diddy, now he's just Diddy, now he's Puff Daddy. I'm like, I'm like, what's Sparrow gonna be this week?
He's Puff Daddy again too.
I know,
With
crazy, crazy. But no, that's cool. I mean, I like sharing those stories like that. It's interesting. I mean, especially like I said, being on an entertainment show. I mean, yeah, definitely intellectual properties and all that kind of stuff. I could definitely see them with a little cease and desist, being like, dude, you can't go by the name Jack Sparrow, even if
Yeah.
you try to mix it up a little bit. Like if you didn't catch what he said and you don't know Sparrow, like he spells it
OW.
SPA77OW. So it's a little bit different, but they still catch on.
Yeah. And I really didn't think that would happen. I mean, like I'm from the urban area. I'm from the hood, so it's like people use different names all the time. They used to take. I don't know if you know. You probably do. They used to make shirts and stuff with Sesame Street characters, like doing pot and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
And nobody ever got in trouble for that.
Yeah. I don't
So
know. Yeah, I mean it's true because I mean not even to that extent, but like t-shirts just for example. Like I mean you can go on to pretty much any t-shirt of the day website and you could buy an Avengers t-shirt right now,
yes,
but the tag on it definitely does not say Marvel, you know,
yes,
and I don't understand why a lot of these sites can get away with like their direct designs that are obviously Marvel, like why I don't. I've always wondered that, like, how come Marvel doesn't go after these shirt sites and stuff and say, "Hey, you can't be printing that," like that's our property, you
I
know.
always wondered if there's like a law that like a loop in the law that they can do that, and that I just did not do.
I don't see what that could be though. I mean, it in the end result, I mean, it's still the likeness is a copyright, So it's like I don't know. I mean,
Just like the guys. I mean, you've been to a wrestling show.
yeah,
When you go to those wrestling shows, they sell T-shirts on the side of the road going up into the arena. And the WWE, they just banned it, but they didn't sue anybody.
yeah.
So like, what did I always think about, like, what was I doing that was different from them?
It's probably just because of the field you were in, and you were actually putting out, CDs and music, and you could make money, off of it. Like I don't know, like there must be something different with the audio aspect of it. I
Okay,
feel like trademarks and like copyright stuff is super heavy on music compared to images.
all right, okay,
I don't know, just from my experience, like, it's very big on, I don't know, like just for example, if I put out an episode of Am I on the Air and I decide to include the audio of Puff Daddy's new single, like I can get in trouble for that because it's a copyrighted song. I didn't get clearance to put that song on the podcast. But
oh wow,
I could put the cover art of the episode being the official poster of Avengers Age of Ultron, and like it's not like Marvel's gonna come at me and be like, "You better take that picture down. That's our
yeah,
poster," So it's like it's kind of weird. It's like you could use artwork and you can use pictures, but if I was to put like a licensed song on the podcast and like an artist heard it and was like, "Man, I didn't give him clearance to put that on there." Like, even though I could be doing it in the most respectful way and being like, "I'm just trying to hook them up. Like, hey, check out this new song. I love it," And it's like, but they're like, "Nope, you can't put that song on there." You
Yeah.
know, like they're very adamant on licensed music, you know, because of royalties and just how much goes into it. It's it's a crazy business.
For which I'm learning.
Yeah, I'm sure. So, you know, you've been in the game for a while. You've released several EPs. You finally have a new one dropping, which I'm super excited about. It comes out on 7/7/15. So July 7th, he's dropping his new EP, Toys,
Yes, sir.
which is super exciting. I know you changed your Twitter handle to add the toy to it, to your Toy Sparrow
Yes.
now,
Yes.
right? So you're always switching up the Twitter handle, which makes it very hard to follow people. I should just say, you know, which
You actually, like my manager, she just told me I should stop doing that. But
yeah,
I
see,
like it to like my last one was Sparrow We Trust, and that's because
yeah,
my last EP was In Music We Trust.
yeah. No,
And
I get why you do it, and it makes sense because you're going with the theme. But just speaking logistically, it's like you got to type that in to find somebody. So it's like if somebody's used to, okay, I follow him already, he's Sparrow We Trust, and then I tweet you at Sparrow We Trust, and it comes back invalid. I'm gonna be like, damn, he's not on Twitter no more. You know,
yeah,
like
you're right.
instead of trying to find, oh, he just changed his name to Toy Sparrow. Because I know people that change their Twitter handle like on a weekly basis, and I'm like, just stop it.
Yeah.
Like you're just confusing everything right now. Like you gotta stick with something. You know, just make it easier for people to find you. Um, but you know, tell us about Toys, man. Like how long did it take you to make this EP? Like how many songs is gonna be on it? And
This this is gonna be probably my favorite one, and I'm right now debating between having 7 records or 10.
ooh,
It
well,
took
10
me,
that makes it not an EP anymore.
yeah, I know, I know. I just call it bonus tracks or something like that. But
There you go. You could hide them at
this
the
took
end of
me
track 7.
3 years to make from
Wow.
my last EP, and it's I don't want to say I got sidetracked because I don't believe in that, but it was 3 years ago that I started having my own concerts in here in New York City, and the concerts were just so successful that I don't know. I continued on doing it, and it kind of sidetracked the EP. And I think more and more, like I wanted to do the Toys EP. I love the music that's going to be, and I love what's going to come out. Um, but the people and the supporters, they were more interested in seeing me perform than they were caring about my new music. If you actually look at my YouTube views, any song that was supposed to be on Toys that I released probably got less than 1,000 views because more attention was going into me performing. Like I put out this single I had, it's called For Your Boyfriend, last November, and in the same month I put out a performance that I did in October. And the performance I did in October had got 5,000 views, and the For Your Boyfriend video had got 800 views. And so people was really more into me performing than they were actually caring about what's coming up next. It's weird. I can't explain it. I don't know why,
Yeah,
but
it's
that's what it
interesting.
was. So what I did was I took a step back from doing concerts to focus more on the EP. That's why it took me so long because I was doing 2 years worth of concerts from 2013 up until the end of 2014. I was just doing concerts, performing old material off the last EP.
Well, I mean that's a good idea though too at the same time because you're spreading that fan base.
Yes,
You know, the more concerts you do, the more people that are aware of you. You know, I think it's a smart move to be honest, man. I mean, you know, it's like, it. You know, sometimes it sucks with an artist when you wait and wait and wait for new material.
yes, yes,
You know, because as a fan, you're like, I want some new stuff. You know, but I can get it from that aspect of being like, you know, like I was into touring, you know, and I was into just rocking shows and like I said, and I mean, there's a lot of times where people go to a show, you know, maybe they didn't go for you exactly, but they were going for something else, and then they heard you, and then now they're a fan, you know,
yes.
and like and that only comes from doing shows. So I mean, that could really help out the Toys EP in the long run.
And I agree with it. I just recently learned. I put it together in my own head that it I did it salty for the last year because the first year I was just enjoying doing shows. I mean, it was my first shows in New York City, and they was actually selling out, so I was having fun. And then having I have a management team, and they we got to do another one, we got to do another one, we got to do. But I was doing it salty because I didn't understand what you just explained to me, what you just said. I didn't understand that at the time. I just wanted to release this new music. That's all I wanted to do. Shoot new videos, get new images out. I didn't think that keep performing was actually pushing myself and pushing a product that I had out at the time. And just this year, I saw that Nicki Minaj, she just did her world tour and her album came out like 8 months ago. So from 8 months ago up until now, she's still pushing the songs that she have. And you know, I would think if she was her, she wants to get her new stuff out. It's Nicki Minaj. I'm sure she got new stuff, but she's still working on what she already have, what she already have. So I'm just now learning that it's important to to keep pushing the music with touring and live performances. And now that I know that, I'll think with toys I can do it even better rather than doing it with with salty, because that's how I was feeling.
Yeah. No, definitely. So I think you're heading in the right direction. Um, so one of the big things off toys is, of course, the Stone Cold Stunna, and this has been a song that's been floating around for a little bit, and I know you wrote it like way back in the day, and then you kind of redid it for this Toys EP,
Yeah,
and you just put out the music video for it. We talked a little bit about it earlier, and well, I'll be sending the tweet out again with it and putting it up on the Facebook and stuff so people can see if they missed it. But being a wrestling fan, I thought it was really, really cool that basically, I mean, the song is called Stone Cold Stunna. So if you're a wrestling fan, you know who Stone Cold Steve Austin is, one of the biggest of all time. And what Sparrow does over here is pretty damn tight because you basically just do a freestyle over Stone Cold's theme music, which
yeah,
is which is a hype, track in its own right. I mean, you have the glass shatter and just the dun 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 dun,
yeah,
and you just go to town over it, and it's really, really awesome, because it is such a cool theme. I mean, if you remember back in the day, do you remember when the group Disturbed did the rock version of Stone Cold song?
yeah. I remember that.
It was awesome. It was so good. And like basically, I mean, it's already a rock background track, and then you take like a metal band like Disturbed and you just have them relay those chords. And
Yeah,
and David Draymond, the lead singer of Disturbed, his voice is one of the best in the metal game. And just like I remember, I love that version. Like I was so pissed when they went back to his regular version after that, because I'm like, you're just going down after you had Disturbed do your theme song.
that was the time he joined the Alliance, correct?
Yeah, I think it was
Yeah,
around that time. Yeah, but I mean, but that just proved right there, that you could do something really cool with that theme music. And then it was like, so we've heard that really hardcore rock version. Now we have your version putting the hip hop over it, and I think it's pretty awesome. Any wrestling
thank you,
fan will
man.
probably really, really dig that. Hearing like a freestyle over the Stone Cold, background. So like, what was the inspiration for that? Like, what made you be like, I just want to drop some stuff over Stone Cold's background music.
Well, I mean, like, as you said before, I had done it years ago. I did the Stone Cold record like my last year of high school, and it was just so different. And the vibe and the feedback I got from it was just amazing. And nobody has done it since then. So when I was putting together toys, because my whole thing with toys is I just want to have fun. I don't care anymore. I'm not making a song for this. I'm not gonna make a song for that. I'm just gonna do what I want to do. And then yeah, I just thought it was cool back then. Why is it not cool now? Nobody's done it. I could still do it. Actually I used some of the same lyrics that I used in high school. I just modernized certain things, and that was pretty much it because I just wanted to do it. It was just a fun thing to do, and then you could catch the beat. Like when I told people that I rapped on the Stone Cold beat, nobody believed it because, like how you said, Disturbed did the rock part, and is a rock background type track, so nobody could hear hip hop lyrics on it. But if you really listen to it, you could catch that beat and rap with it, like I did.
Yeah, No, and it's awesome. I think so. Here's the idea for the next EP, Sparrow. You should do 7 songs just of WWE theme musics with you rapping over them.
I would do that.
I think that would be so sick. Like, because in my mind, I'm already imagining you dropping a sick flow over like the Brood's theme music.
Oh my God, I wanted to do that so bad.
Like just oh man, like something over the DX theme. Like I just oh man, I'm getting excited.
It's gonna be hard
so
to do the DX one because Run DMC already did it, and I
Oh,
love
it was
that.
yeah, I
don't think that
love
can
the
be
Run
topped.
DMC version. Yeah, the King of Rock. What? The King of Rock. Who?
Now I was mad when they changed that one because I love that theme.
Yeah, yeah. You knew they'd always have to go back to the original though, because it's just something about those original versions. But
They have some other artists. They did the. I'm gonna send you the link too. I'll put it out. They did the Wolfpack beat.
yeah,
Their name is MMB. I'm not sure, but I'll send you the link because I watch it all the time. They did the Wolfpack beat. Um, and it sounded good too. I mean, if you're into that, then I'll send you that because that sounded good. That sounded good. They're a group.
well they have yeah. I know who you're talking about. And then there was also the version of the DX theme that they used like for Mike Tyson, and then I think X Pac
Yes.
used a version of it too.
Uh huh.
So like that was kind of the rap version too of the DX theme. We're gonna kick your ass, fool. But that'd be a cool
That
idea.
is that the one that X Pac used?
He used a modified version of it. Like it started off as the Mike Tyson one, and then after that WrestleMania when X-Pac came back, they kind of gave it to him as his solo theme. They tweaked it a little bit, but it was basically the same thing. Where
I've never noticed that.
it's like the slowed down DX theme, which is kind of like dun 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 dun,
Yeah,
but it's got like kind of the rapping over it.
I'm gonna go back and watch that. I never even noticed that.
Yeah. Very, very cool. So Stone Cold Stunna. At the end of this episode here, I will be playing Stone Cold Stunna so you can hear the song in its full entirety. In case you haven't heard it, I want to spread that love some more, so it'll be played here at the end of the episode when we sign off. And but so you're going to be going on a tour for Toys as well, right?
Yes.
So
I just want to hold on before we get into. I just want to say to all the people that listen to Am I Still on the Air and everybody that listen to Am I on the Air, and just everybody on the whole Red Dragons podcast and all the listeners on the podcast as well. I wanted to say thank you for the support that I got on the Stone Cold Stunner record. And I can't point out who was who and who did what, but I do know before the record even officially came out, it already had hit about 3,000 views. And to be honest with you, Don, the only, I guess, wrestling demographic that I have would be from your show. And I mean, other than me talking to people on Twitter during Monday and Thursday nights, but the majority comes from working with Red Dragons and working with you guys. And the thing had 3,000 views before it was supposed to come out on April 20th. But in order for it to get posted on certain sites, I had to put it on YouTube a week before. And the video just had 3,000. Usually when I do that, my videos don't hit 300 views. But it had 3,000 before it even came out.
so awesome.
And then the like major sites like I don't know PWY, Pro Wrestling Insider picked it up. Cage Side Seats picked it up. So a whole bunch of other ones. Up Rocks picked it up. And I don't know. It just felt good. It was a feeling that was unmatched with any other record that I've ever put out. This one just really hit harder than any other thing that I've put out.
Yeah, I totally feel you, man. I mean, that's how I feel when like I look at stats for the episodes of Am I on the Air and stuff when they come out, and it's like every episode does about the same. But every once in a while you'll just have like this runaway episode,
Yeah.
and I actually had that a couple weeks ago. It was the episode where I reviewed Furious 7. I don't know why or what, but that episode is like my biggest episode of all time, and it just every time I check numbers on a weekly basis, it goes up like 1,000 views, and I'm
Wow.
just like, why is this episode so damn big? Like, I mean, it's just a regular episode, nothing really
Yeah.
special, but it happens, and it is a really cool feeling because sometimes you're just like, okay, somebody obviously liked something they heard, so they shared it with someone else, and someone else shared it, and it just spreads like this wildfire. And so I get it, like how you see, like, you check out a YouTube clip and you're just like, my views are pretty much around here, and then you're like, whoa, 3,000, like it's just
Yeah.
like, it's awesome, man. It's a great feeling. That's how I felt when I looked at that episode. I was like, damn, like I'm going over like 10,000 listens for that episode.
And it's good because last time we talked, you had $9,000 on it.
Yeah, and it's
Now it's like
it's over 10,000 now, which is insane because that episode is over a month ago now at this point, and it's still getting like 1,000 a week, So like I don't know, but it is a great feeling, like just to watch the numbers like grow because of course that kind of rolled down to all the episodes that came after it. So
yeah.
so everything's kind of overperforming in this last month now because of that one episode. So it kind of like sparked a fire somewhere. But yeah, it's super exciting. I mean, and I'm glad that it's doing so well for you, man. It's well deserved. You're a hard worker, dude, and like
Thank
you're
you, man.
always on the grind. You're always busting it out. Like you're always trying to get it out there, and you're always doing interviews and lining things up. And I mean, and honestly, like for an independent rapper, I mean, it's what you got to do. And
Yeah.
and people don't understand. Like, I mean, it's a full time job in its own right, and and but it can work for you, dude. I mean, one of my favorite rapper out right now is Tech Nine.
Yeah.
And Tech, if you follow Tech and you know Tech, he's an independent rapper, and that
Yeah.
dude has got the independent game on lock with Strange
Yes, he
Music.
does.
That dude built Strange Music from the ground up, and now he's like making more money than people that are on major labels.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
so that proves, man, he built this family out of it, and now he's got Chris Calico, and he's got Murs, and he's got like all these guys like
Yeah, Murs is
lining up,
awesome.
to be on his label. And and every time he dropped, because he just dropped a new album last week, and it's awesome. And it's the same thing, man. He drops an album and then he goes and tours for 6 months. Then he drops an album, then he goes and tours for 6 months. Like he's got his cycle down, but it works. And he does whatever he wants when he wants. He doesn't have to worry about a major label,
Yeah.
doing that weird kind of influence and taking the bigger piece of the pie. It's like he does it all on his own. Merchandising, of course, through the roof. Like Strange just has like
And
the
his
biggest
support
merchandise.
system, like they really support him. Like
Yes, through
he's
and
their
through.
guy.
Yeah, so it's like, he's a pure example that it could work, man. And and I know you're doing all the right things to make it work too. So, I hope to see you, get to that next plateau because you definitely
Yes.
deserve it. It's been a long time coming.
And it's been times that I felt a little frustrated with things when things were slowed down, but then I had a chance to actually meet and talk to Macklemore,
Nice.
and he just let it be known, like 10 years it took him. 10 years.
Oh yeah, it's not overnight.
But it's hard because in that 10 years you're like, damn,
Yeah.
you see the fly by nights come and go. Like, all right, like for instance, we have something in New York called the Breakfast Club. It's a radio
Yep.
show,
I know.
and it's an artist who did a song, and I'm not gonna say his name because I don't want to roast him, but he just did a song that I know for a fact is not going to be around next summer. I know that. We had an artist last year who had a song that was hot last year, and now he in jail. But I just feel like it's not. It's like those artists are the ones who get put on those certain platforms, and guys like Macklemore, Tech Nine, or even Sparrow are the ones who have to, slow but steady, slow but steady.
Yeah, I mean, you hear the stories all the time, man. Like this is not an overnight game. I mean, for everyone that does kind of get it overnight, like you
Yeah,
said, they don't usually last. Like it's because they're a flash in the pan. They get that one big hit single out, and then it's gone. But it's the hard workers that really stick to the grind, and they do it all the right way. That really get to succeed to that next level. I mean, Tech is huge now, but I mean, but look how long that dude struggled.
yeah.
I mean, Tech struggled for a long ass time. Nobody knew who the hell he was. Now you can mention his name, and people are like, "Oh,
People
I know
know,
that dude." Like,
especially after he got on Lil Wayne's album.
yeah, which was crazy because what he did like a 1 minute track
Yeah,
on the Carter 3.
it was
So
4.
Oh, was it 4?
Yeah, it was 4.
But yeah, I mean, he did like everybody was expecting this big like collaboration between the two, and then he just basically did like the interlude to a song, and like, but it killed, and
Yeah.
everybody was like, "Damn, like who's this dude?" And I'm like, "Come on, man, it's Tech Nine," But like, you look at his major catalog, but then you take a look at his full discography. He's got many, many CDs that have just, from way back in the day, that
Yeah.
people don't even know he dropped, because that's how long he's just been, he's been doing it. So, stick to the grind, stay true, stay, working at it, and it should pay itself off. I mean, but I think you're doing everything the right way, So, I hope Toys is a massive success.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
So you're represented by Black Money, right?
Yeah, Black Money Entertainment.
So Black Money Entertainment, you can follow them on Twitter at BLAKK Money. So
ENT.
um,
Is it ENT or just Black
no, it's
Money?
just Black Money.
Okay.
I'm
I
looking
should
at
know
it right
that.
now. See, I try to always make sure my facts are right.
My manager's gonna kill me when she hears
I
this.
know. She's like, he had it right. Why'd you interrupt him? So follow them at Black Money, and check them out. But they've been a big. I mean, they've been around pretty much from the beginning with you too.
Yes.
Because I remember, kind of getting involved with them and having them follow me on Twitter and stuff too. Like right around the time me and you hooked up, and so I mean, it's good to see that they've supported you for so long too, and they really believe in everything you're doing, and
That's they actually come from people don't know this, and it's gonna be the first I even say this. They came from a major label and they was frustrated with how things were being ran and how artists were being treated. So I think they never renewed like their salary or whatever, and they just thought they just made Black Money Entertainment.
nice. Well, that's how a lot of good things are born. It's from
Yeah.
frustration. They're like, man, this sucks. I'm pissed. It's not working the way I want. I'm gonna do my own thing. We're gonna do it the right way. And
Yeah.
I mean, believe me, if I had the means, sometimes when I'm at a job and I'm working for somebody and I'm just like, I know I could do this so much better. If I had the capital, I would have just quit and started my own version of it. But no, that's good. So let's get back. We started to talk about the tour, and then we got a
Yeah.
little sidetracked. So let's get back to the tour here. So what do you know so far? When does it start? Where's it going? Like, give us what you got on the tour.
The tour is gonna kick off after the mixtape come out. After I don't know exactly the first date, but it is gonna be in the month of July. It's gonna come out. Right now, what I'm doing on Twitter is I'm reaching out to certain people and supporters, and trying to get the demand up in their state for me to come out there. The biggest one I have right now is Cleveland, and so I for sure will be out in Cleveland. And after that, I plan to hit Indianapolis, and I definitely want to go to Atlanta. In Seattle, Cleveland and Seattle is two for sure things that I'll be hitting already. But it's called the Toy Drive tour, and right now we're putting it together, but it's certainly going to be starting in July. Certain states I would be having my own show where it would be just me, and maybe I'll get like some local performers, some guys that's doing the same thing that I'm doing, or I'll be featured in somebody else's show.
Nice.
That's pretty much it.
Need to get on that tech tour.
I'll try to, man. I mean, I
That
hope
would.
I reach out to him and they don't act like major artists. They understand what it's like.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, I'm going through the same thing you did. Help me out. And yeah, I think his new album is special effects, so I think you gotta get on that special effects tour.
Yeah, I've seen that. He's on the cover. He got like his head looks like a robot, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's
I
the
know he's
cover of
talking
the
about.
album. Yeah. So yeah, like I said, man, it's it's that balance of drop an album, go tour and support it, build up that fan base, drop another album, go tour and support it, build up that fan base. Like it's just that constant cycle, dude. I swear.
And a lot of artists don't understand that.
No.
They don't understand that you have to. Because even for me, I'm speaking like from experience, not to judge anybody, but I'm just now, like I said earlier, like even with doing shows in New York City, I'm just now understanding you're gonna get a responsive support system when you're out doing stuff. You can't release music and stay in the house all day and think people are just gonna like it. I mean, our ego as artists say you're just so hot that people are gonna like it, but they're not. You have to go out and you have to see these people and touch them and be out there, because if you're not doing that, then that's exactly what you'll just be doing, releasing music.
Yep. It's the music industry as a whole these days. Like music is way different than it was 10 years ago.
Yeah,
Like back in the 90s, I mean, you could sell 1 million albums in 1 week, if you were the
yeah,
Backstreet Boys and Britney Spears and stuff. And then, we hit that like 2005 type era, and then all the like downloading started happening and people using Napster and all, LimeWire and all these
hmm,
like sites that have been shut down since. But it
yeah,
just everything became digital, and then the game kind of just changed. I mean, people don't really buy CDs anymore. they
yeah.
they they use systems like Spotify, and Rhapsody and stuff like that, and to listen to their music. And most artists will tell you right now, like, it's cool to put out new music and it's cool to put out a new album, but it's like, but the money they're making is on the touring and the
Yes,
merchandising.
yes,
So it's like, so you gotta be on that grind. And I think that's why, Tech and Strange are like so successful at what they do, because he's got that cycle down. Like, he comes to my town at least 2 times a year, because
really,
because he's like I said, it's like a 6 month cycle. It's like he either drops like a full solo album, or he drops, like, he does these side like collabo CDs too. And then
yeah,
it's like, but he goes on a tour like right after he drops something. So it's constantly like, album, go tour, support it, sell the merchandise, and then
uh huh.
again, do the same thing again. Do a new album, drop it, go tour, do the merchandise. So
Are
it,
you in Boston, Don?
no, I'm on the West Coast, man. I'm in Arizona.
Oh, all right.
So
Well, who's in Boston? Is Corey in Boston?
Corey was in Boston,
Oh, okay, okay.
yeah. So yeah, so I mean, so like that's the drive, man. That's where you're gonna make your money, is the touring, and like, all doing the shows, selling the merchandise, like having people support you that way. The CDs are cool to kind of to put out and have something that people can bump, after the
Yeah.
show, but yeah, that's where, the big picture is really is getting your face out there and letting people see you.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah, of course.
For independent artists, what would you suggest would be the best way of promotion for coming to Arizona? Like, if I wanted to come to Arizona, obviously, I don't have a huge fan base out in Arizona, but I want to come out there and do a show. What would you suggest I do to get at least 250 people inside of a venue?
Well, I think you would have to hook up with the right club,
Hmm.
first and foremost. I mean, and then that club hopefully would support you and kind of like put up flyers with links to, your YouTube page and ways that people can listen to your music.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you'd have to get that word out first of like, okay, this guy's coming. Here's where you can learn more about it, and then have like a hub for people to go to, hear more about it. Um, but it would really probably be up to the promotion of the club. There are smaller clubs here that, I think would, be open to the opportunity of bringing, they give a lot of new artists, a platform. um, but yeah, but like you said, I mean, to really pack the house and bring in a couple hundred people, then,
Yeah.
people got to be, invested. Or you go to a night where, I know sometimes, like, there's a club that, they it might just be an open regular Saturday night dance party kind of thing,
Uh huh.
but they'll bring an artist in to perform, like also like really with maybe minimal advertising, but they drop it on a regular open night to where it's not the complete focus of the night, but people are already there. It's already a packed house, so then you bring up somebody to do a quick little half-hour show or something, and then it basically that'll help, get people more invested, because they're like, oh, I had no idea, and now this guy's pretty cool, and where can I find out more?
Yeah.
So there's a couple little different ways, but yeah, I think a lot of it would depend on how much advertising the actual club that would book you, would do for you,
Yeah.
to get that word out, like to maybe get in contact with the local radio station and maybe get something playing,
Oh,
to
okay.
where people so then, local, Hot 98.3 is going to be playing, a track off Toys, and then could be like, hey, Sparrow's coming to, blah 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 on August 5th, and then that'll obviously help build it too if you get on the local radio station.
Okay, that sounds good. Thank you, man. I needed that.
Yeah, I speculate as much as I possibly can. I by no means am a promotional artist, but I speak on what I know of. But yeah, so let's talk. Okay, so we got it out there. We talked, a lot about the Toys EP and kind of where everything's coming and going and the tour and definitely once again, guys, follow this dude on Twitter. You can follow him at Toy Sparrow, and then remember once again it's SPA77ow. So make sure you get that right. And so you've seen Avengers, right? Let's talk some entertainment news. What'd you
Come
think?
on, man. I'm ready.
What'd you think of Age of Ultron?
I loved it. I saw it twice.
Hell yeah.
Me and you saw it on Saturday, actually.
Yes, I saw it twice on Saturday.
But I actually loved it. I don't know. I just loved it.
I know it's hard to wrap your head around sometimes. It's just like I just loved everything about it, but it is good, man. Like I came out of it I saw it opening night and I was just like, this movie's awesome, but I didn't know where I felt with it as far as in relation to, is it the best Marvel film? Do I like it more than the first Avengers film? I was kind of on the fence. I was like, I need to see it again. So I went Saturday and watched it again. And when I came out, I was like, yep, I like it more than the first Avengers film. Like I just knew, and I actually enjoyed the movie a lot more the second time around. And I picked up on a lot of little things that I missed on the first showing, So that's what I like about seeing movies multiple times is I guess the first time you watch, you're so just kind of encompassed in like the full picture. You're just like, oh my god, everything's going on. This is crazy. But like the second time around, it's like you already know some of this stuff, so you're kind of your eyes start to glance at like different things in different areas, and then you pick up on stuff. Like I picked up on a lot of different things in like Thor's dream. Like the first time she kind of puts his little weight special on him. Like I saw like Vision. Like he saw Vision in his head. And like I never caught that the first go around that he actually had a vision of Vision.
I didn't see that either.
like you see Vision like open his eyes and then you see the 4 Infinity Stones. Spoiler alert. But but it was really really cool. Like so, but yeah, great movie. It's the #1 movie still at the box office. Another 77 million made over the weekend. So this thing is just crushing right now. So if you haven't listened to our spoiler review, that's our last Am I Still on the Air, is our big 2-hour spoiler review on Avengers Age of Ultron. So definitely go back and check that out.
But I absolutely loved it. I was talking about if DC could do something like that, and if they was gonna do something like that, then they'd have to remake Justice League Doom or something. That's the only way they're gonna, you know, pull off something like that. And I am a DC fan through and through. And if they want to have something as good as the Avengers, they're gonna have to just do Justice League Doom, make it into a movie.
I don't know if they're gonna go straight into Doom, but I mean, but a Justice League movie in its own right, I mean, is coming, and I mean, so you're gonna get the equivalent of the DC Avengers, like when you're gonna see Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Flash, like all together, Aquaman, possibly Cyborg, like I mean, you're gonna see that here in a couple years. I mean, I think the Justice League Part 1 comes out in 2017. So I mean, we're less than a couple years away from from the first Justice League movie hitting, which that Batman v Superman is going to kind of set up. I mean, that's why the subtitle to that film is Dawn of Justice, because it's the setup to the Justice League. So I know Aquaman has a cameo in it. We know Wonder Woman's in it. Who knows who else might pop up in the film. So like it's meant to let you know, like, hey, this is a big universe, and just besides Batman and Superman, there's these other gods out here. So I don't know. Like for me, like you said you're a big DC fan. How you feeling about that Batman Superman movie coming out?
I'm
next
excited
year?
about that. They played that trailer the first time I went to see Avengers, and I didn't see it on the internet when they were doing the links out. I refused to see it, and when I saw it in the theater, it was just amazing. They didn't even show a lot either. That's what I love. They didn't even show a lot. They showed the big statue and then they had Batman and Superman looking at each other.
Tell me, do you bleed? You will. Yeah, it's an awesome trailer, man. That trailer gives me goosebumps. Like I've seen it both times in front of Avengers, both times I saw Avengers, and
And you got to see a special edition
I
of the
did.
trailer
I saw
too.
that. I went to the special pre-screening. I never thought I'd go to the movie theater just to see a trailer. I went and made a special trip to the theater for the world premiere of the trailer. And you know what? As silly as it seemed, there was just some I had already actually because it leaked a couple days earlier online,
Hmm.
and I have no self-control, so of course I watched it and I was like, this is cool, and I liked it, but there was a totally different feeling when I was in the IMAX theater and that trailer started and it came up on the screen. My like hair stood up on my arms and I just got goosebumps, and I was just like, holy crap. It was like I was watching it for the first time, because you're sitting in a theater and there's all the voiceover in the very beginning. They're like, how can we trust this guy, and blah 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 blah, and there's a lot of voiceovers going on, but they're all coming out of different speakers when you watch it in the theater. So
Yeah.
you hear like, we can't trust him in the front, and then you hear like, like, oh, what doesn't mean he's a bad guy in the back, and you hear all the stuff, and then you hear Lex Luthor's voice, which is my favorite kind of audio on the thing, because he says, like, devils don't come from below the ground, they come from the sky. And then it
Oh
shows
wow,
like
you got to see
Superman,
that.
and then it plays in the trailer, but you got to listen. You got to listen closely. And he says, devils don't come from below the ground, they come from the sky. And then it cuts to the scene where Superman's just floating in the sky, and there's some guy reaching his hand up, kind of like, oh, I want to touch you, you're my god. And it's such a cool moment in the trailer, and I love the way the trailer's cut, because it's like that whole first part is all about Superman, and then you see the statue and somebody spray painted false god on there, and then it cuts to Bruce Wayne staring at the Batman suit, and that whole second half of the trailer is all Batman oriented, and then
Yeah.
and then it kind of comes together at the end with him in the metal suit looking up at Superman floating in the rain, and with the "Tell me, do you bleed?" line, and then on the special viewing I saw, it actually had a little extra clip at the end where you see Superman like getting ready to run, and then you see Batman getting ready to run, and it cuts to this like wide shot of them running at each other, and then Superman ready to like punch Batman right in the face, and then it just cuts, and it's like Batman v Superman, and I was just like, oh my god, like it's just that extra little scene at the end, man. I wish they would have left that on the trailer, because there's a lot of people that are kind of like, they're very meh on the trailer. They're like, it doesn't really show me nothing. But I feel like if they would have saw that last scene, everybody would have
Yeah.
been like, damn, that's gonna be sick, So it's like, I'm glad we got something a little special for making a trek to go see the trailer in the theater.
Uh-huh.
But I think that they should put that out, man, for people to see, because it would get people super super excited. But
I noticed. I was talking to my friend the other day. He said when it comes to DC trailers that they never ever do show a lot. It looks more soap opera their trailers than it does like an action film.
I don't know about that. I mean, the reason this trailer works is the fact that the movie is still like a year away.
Uh huh.
So this is a good, like, they didn't even need to give us something a year out, to be honest. Like, we're lucky we even got anything.
Yeah.
So as much as people want to say like, well, that didn't really show me nothing, honestly, we're a long ways away from the movie coming out. We're going to probably get like 3 or 4 more trailers before the film comes out.
Yes.
So it's like, I think that was a perfect introduction. It sets the tone. You see that there's like people that are divided. Some people really love Superman and they appreciate what he's done, and then other people are like, he's this false god. Like how should I, feel safe with this dude flying around with all this power? If he ever becomes evil, like, we're screwed.
Yeah.
And then you have Batman, where like he doesn't know. You don't know where he kind of falls. It's an older Batman who's been kicking ass for a lot of years, and it looks, from what I understand, like in this movie, he's basically retired, and he kind of comes out of retirement to fight Superman, and then so it's like, it's a cool different aspect of what we're getting with this movie, and I think that first trailer, even with not showing us much, was a good just taste to whet our appetites,
Yeah.
because in probably July or August, they'll probably show another teaser trailer that might, show a little bit more. And then, we'll get the first real trailer that's like, 2.5 minutes long and really shows us stuff. So we just got to give it time. I mean, people forget that this movie isn't coming out to the end of March in 2016. So there's plenty of time, to show us stuff. So, they're not going to give away everything, because I know people were complaining like it didn't show us Wonder Woman and it didn't show us this or that. It didn't need to. This is the very first trailer. The movie's called Batman v Superman. Let's just show Batman and Superman. Like let's keep the focus where it needs to be, and
Yeah.
then we'll release more nuggets as we get closer. So, you know, I think they did a great job with it. And since you're a big DC fan too, have you been seeing the pictures of Suicide Squad? Do you see this movie's coming out?
Yes, I've seen that.
What do you think about
I've seen
Suicide
it.
Squad?
I'm excited about. I'm actually excited to see what Jared Leto does with the Joker.
Yeah.
Um, I'm not so big on Will Smith being in
Oh, come on.
it. Nah,
You don't like
no,
Big
because
Willie style?
no, I do, but you see, I think with him in it, oh, I don't know, man. Like it takes. He has action movies on his own. It's like Arnold Schwarzenegger being in the movie. Like no, no, let some new guys come. Like Jared Leto, he's cool to be play the Joker. But Will Smith, no.
Yeah, but he's playing Deadshot. It's not like he's coming in as like the Riddler or something,
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
he's basically playing a C-level villain in the DC universe, like, which is just part of a group ensemble,
Uh-huh.
Like Deadshot's not that big of a character, so it's like I don't really think that like he's pulling that much to him, and I like that they went for like, this is risky. DC is taking a big risk by being like, all they've given us is Man of Steel and Batman Superman, and then it's gonna be Suicide Squad. So like that is super risky to me, because it's like you would think that they'd be focusing on doing all the individual movies for their Justice League people first.
Yeah.
Like introduce me to Flash, introduce me to, Aquaman, like stuff like that. Like don't like how do you go straight into a villain movie? Like there's no good guys. Like Suicide Squad is all villains, So it's like I kind of understood where they were coming from, because they went with trying to get decently big names to be in this film, because they needed something to pull people to go watch a movie based on villains.
Okay, so let me ask you something. Do you think they're gonna use some of the villains from Suicide Squad in the Justice League movie?
I think they could. I don't know if it'll be in the Justice League movie, because Justice League is going to need a bigger bad guy than any of them. Um, like Justice League needs like a Doomsday or Brainiac.
They're gonna need a Doomsday.
Like they're gonna need like a real big villain like that to make them kind of all come together. Like you don't call the Justice League to fight Deadshot. Like I'm sorry, like he's a cool character and all, but like you don't need six members of the Justice League. Like Superman can handle that by himself, Batman can handle that by himself. Like like you need a reason to call the Justice League together. So it's gonna have to be a really big villain. What I think we will get is those villains kind of scattered throughout the other movies. Like you might see Deadshot, Will Smith's Deadshot in the solo Batman film. You know,
Yeah.
you're gonna see Joker and Harley Quinn in the Batman film. You might see Captain Boomerang in the Flash movie. Like so you might see them pop up in like the individual films, but I don't. But you're not gonna. I doubt that we'll see. I mean, besides Joker, maybe I don't think that we'll really see any of the Suicide Squad in Justice League.
They're gonna have to get Doomsday. He killed them off.
I know. I want Doomsday. I've been waiting for a big screen version of Doomsday. You know, but maybe they'll hold off Doomsday for the next Man of Steel movie though too. So like there's a lot of different directions that can go. But I'm excited. I'm a big DC fan too. I mean, overall, Superman's my favorite comic book hero. So like as much as Marvel's killing it right now,
Yeah.
I'm really excited to see the DC universe really kind of build up and go. So like to me, like Justice League is the group, and I want to see them come together and fight side by side. That's going to be pretty damn awesome.
You're definitely right about that. To me, it's just gonna be interesting to see what the Suicide Squad is gonna be about. I mean, I know it has nothing but villains in it, but right, who's gonna save the day? Like, how is this story gonna end?
Exactly. It'll kind of be the Suicide Squad. like they're gonna. I mean, it's basically the government uses them for suicide missions. Like to get stuff done because they don't care if bad guys get killed in the line of duty. So that's why they pick the villains out to go do that stuff. That's the background to the Suicide Squad is like you have a really crazy mission coming up. Instead of sending in the military, you send in the Suicide Squad because if somebody dies from the Suicide Squad, who cares?
Yeah.
You're like they're just villains on death row, So it's like who cares, But if they get the job done, then they can get the job done too because they're also very good like assassins and stuff like that too. So it'll be interesting to see what the true story is. We don't even know what the true synopsis or the story is behind Suicide Squad. What are they doing in the film?
Mhm.
I have heard rumors that we might see Batman in there at some point. There's been pictures of Ben Affleck on the set and stuff like that. So that'll be interesting to see if we, at least get a Bruce Wayne cameo or we get a Batman cameo in there. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's exciting. I mean, that comes out next year as well. Next year is going to be a big comic book year. 2016 is loaded with comic book movies. You got Deadpool coming out. We got the Batman Superman. We got Captain America Civil War. We got X-Men Apocalypse. We got the Gambit movie, and we got Suicide Squad, and we got Doctor Strange. There's like 7 or 8 comic book movies next year, man. I think it's the
I'm
biggest
excited about
year.
that Gambit movie. I think Gambit was my favorite X-Men.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool.
I,
That's cool. So how do you feel about Channing Tatum playing him?
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that. I think he could. He really can make that role because that role won't make him because he's
yeah.
already huge. He's gonna make that. He's gonna bring that role to life. That's why I feel opposite about Will Smith. I don't think he can make that. He's gonna be Will Smith. It's gonna be like I'm watching Will Smith.
I don't know. He's being a bad guy though. You don't really see him ever play a bad guy.
It's gonna be hard to. This is how I feel. It's like when I see like Beyonce playing a movie. I don't see the character. I see
Right.
Beyonce.
No, that's true. That's true, and that's what a lot of people said about Channing Tatum when he got cast as Gambit. They said I'm not gonna, and but that's very true. It's hard sometimes for actors to get kind of lost into a role because all you see is them. And I totally believe you with the Beyonce comparison because she's just Beyonce no matter what you put her in. Um, I don't know. Like I'm actually excited for Will Smith to be Deadshot. I really love the picture that came out of him with the white helmet on. I thought he looked really really cool.
Uh-huh.
Like when he had the full helmet on. So I think it'll be tight. Um, what are you looking forward to this summer? Summer movie season just kind of kicked off. There's some big stuff coming out. Like anything specific you're looking forward to after Avengers?
I haven't had like a finger on the What am I looking for? I haven't really had a finger on the pulse of anything that's coming out. I just like any other fan, I've just been excited about Superman
Yeah.
versus Batman. None that's next year, but
I
that's
know that's
just
my most anticipated
what
movie
I'm
of next
excited
year.
about. Um,
Well,
no, not really. I haven't
we
really
got
seen
the new
anything that
Fantastic Four coming out in August.
not I
Really?
don't
Wow.
care for
Okay. Okay. I think it looks pretty good. I like the trailer. We got the new Terminator coming out. Wow,
don't
no new
care for it.
Terminator. Jeez. What about the new
Nah,
Jurassic Park? We got Jurassic World coming out. That looks pretty tight.
nah,
Oh man.
don't care for it.
Let's see.
I won't be first in line for
We got
those
Mad
movies.
Max coming out next week. About some Mad Max Fury Road. No,
No,
no Mad Max
no.
too. Oh man. Um, I don't know. Those are the big tent poles. You just squashed them all. So.
I really not. I don't know. I'm not excited for those movies. This Superman versus Batman just got me like,
I
ugh.
know, but we're so
If
far
it's not that,
away. The only thing I do like is it comes out like right after my birthday next year, so that's my. I feel like that's Warner Brothers giving me a birthday present next year. So, and I get to see supposedly because I went to that pre-screen of the trailer, they gave us a movie pass that says we get to see the film a week early for free. So I might.
ooh, The
You get to see the
film.
whole film a week
The,
early for
the
free,
oh
and it was
wow.
yeah, it was a bonus for waiting in line to watch the watch the trailer. So it was a nice surprise. So who knows? Maybe I get to see it. Hopefully, if that pans out properly, I'll get to see it a week early. Early birthday present.
That's gonna be good. You know what I'm waiting for? They ain't got no
Huh?
release date. Crossface, the Chris Benoit movie.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
yeah,
waiting.
yeah. What about the new Star Wars? You excited about that? No.
No,
Okay, I can't get
nah,
Sparrow excited about any other movie this year. Did you see Furious 7?
no, I'm
Not a
not a
fan
fan
of
of that
Fast and Furious
series.
either. This interview is over.
Nah, I've never, I've never been into
Oh
the
man, it's
series
so
of
good, but it's got The
Fast and
Rock,
Furious.
man. Come on.
I'm not a oh shit. You gonna get me killed. I'm not a like this man
Oh!
rock. You trying to
So
get me
I was
killed.
just gonna say, because Rock's got a movie coming out in a couple weeks too. He's got San Andreas. That looks tight.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, I want
okay,
to
we
see
got
that.
one. Ding, ding, ding. All right,
Okay, I want to see that. I
San
forgot about that.
Andreas coming out May 29th, I believe. So yeah, that looks good. I'm excited to see that in 3D. I love disaster films, so I want to see California crumble.
And that's really why I want to see because I like disaster
Yeah.
films too.
All right, we finally hit one. All right, everybody. Sparrow is only looking forward to San Andreas this summer. What about TV? What do you? Is there anything specific that you watch on television? What are you into?
That's more. I've been. This may sound corny, but I've been watching Last Man on
Oh,
Earth.
dude, I love Last Man on Earth.
I,
I love it.
me too.
It's so good.
I've been watching that. They just had
Yeah,
they
it just had
said
the season finale.
season
Yeah,
finale
it did get
last week.
picked up, so season
Uh,
2 is coming next year. Very excited.
what is the
It's
ratings on that? Do
good.
you know? I got to
It's
check
good,
Zap to
man.
it.
It's good. That's why I said they picked it up for a second season pretty quick. So they're very happy with the ratings on it. So I'm excited to see where the second season takes us. Now that we know his brother's floating around in space there.
Our Last Man on Earth. Let me see what else I like to watch. And I'm gonna try to get into Empire when it comes back.
Yeah, I couldn't. I didn't get into that.
You know I was supposed to be
Were
on
you
that
really?
show. Yes, I
Oh, look at
was.
this insight. Tell us the story.
I don't mean to sound bitter, but yeah, I was supposed to be on that show.
What happened?
I
For
here's the story, and this is an
like a
exclusive
cameo
here.
role, or for like an actual like?
No, it's to play the role of the
Oh,
rapper.
okay.
So the one of the scouts of the show contacted me last summer and told me that Fox is doing a show. They're looking for a rapper. They saw you. This is when I run around with the
Yeah.
chains and stuff on my neck, and and they want you to. They think that you'll be great for the role. I told them that you'll be great for the role. You know how to rap, so that's the easy part. So I didn't take it seriously because I get these inquiries all the time. Somebody always got something for me to do, and it's not what it turns out to be. So this guy. Shout out to him. His name is Chip Matthews. He would send me a text and an email every day, like, "Hey, did you send your stuff? Did you send your stuff?" And I just leave it alone. But like I said, I get these inquiries all the time. So I did. I finally sent it over one time, and he said, "Well, the role has already been cast, but I'm going to get you into like a extra role. See if I can get you an extra role." And and that didn't motivate me none. So I just left it. I was just like, all right, cool. So the show comes on. Now, I swear to you, Dawn, I forgot that he said the show was called Empire. I forgot that he said Fox 5. He when the show was being advertised, I just looked at it as another Fox show. I forgot all this. So one day I'm on Instagram and he did a radio interview with the rapper on the show. And I was like, Chip? And then I texted him, I said, "Hey Chip, was Empire the show you was telling me to send my stuff over?" He was like, "Yeah, man." Then I went back and I checked the email and it was Empire that I was supposed to send my stuff to.
And little did you know, Empire became the biggest hit of the entire year.
Biggest.
That show became so
uh,
massive, dude. You got to be kicking yourself in the ass right now.
I don't take it bitter because I never wanted to. How do I say this without sounding bitter? I don't care to do. I don't care to do anything other than do music because that's what I love to do. So when other things come, like even when I get like endorsements for clothes and stuff like that, I play my part. I do what I'm supposed to do, but I don't. It's not so serious for me. So it do be times when I sit back and I think about it. I be like, ugh, but I don't. It doesn't stop me from doing anything because I'm not an actor anyway. Like I never had a desire to be an actor, and even now, shout out. And you know what's crazy? I know the guy. I know his name is Yazzie, but I don't know what's his name on the show. But I know Yazzie. We did a bunch of shows together in Philly, and but even now he's being more looked at as an actor than he is a musician. And I never ever wanted to do that. I don't, I don't. I would want to be I want to be a musician, get my feet wet, do what I have to do, and then I'll go off to acting like Ludacris did.
Gotcha.
But to start out as an actor, nobody's gonna look at me anymore as Sparrow, the rap
Yeah,
artist.
that makes sense, and that's good. I mean, you know where your focus wants to be, and there's definitely a time and a place. But like you said, man, I mean, I agree with you. I think once you are a musician and you get into the acting game, it's exactly like you said. They kind of forget about the music side, and you saw it with
Yeah,
Ludacris for many years. I mean, look at Tyrese. Like I mean, it's like
yeah,
a lot of people wouldn't even know Tyrese put out CDs, like because it's like that's all you think of now is the actor, and you can definitely I get that, and that's smart of you to be like, my focus is the music, and going back to wrestling and stuff like that. I mean, you hear that a lot of times with the wrestlers, and they get offered parts in movies and stuff, and some of them are cool and they want to jump on it, and the other ones are like, my priority is the wrestling, so like if it works out, cool,
yeah,
I can do a movie and come back, but not everybody wants to go off and become the next Rock, either, so
yeah.
it's all where that passion lies. So that's cool. That's a great story there, right there, man. Empire.
Actually, when we're promoting this show, I'm gonna use that as a headline.
That's awesome. Uh, yeah, and so what else? What else you and I mean, besides Last Man on Earth, what else are you really into?
Last Man on Earth. I'll be watching because I'm usually in the house around the morning, so I watch things like The Real, which is a guilty pleasure. I hate that I
Oh,
watch
come
The
on.
Real. I fucking hate
Yeah,
that,
that's
man.
bullshit.
And I really be sitting there like watching it. um, uh, as you guys know already, Raw, SmackDown,
Yeah, of
that
course.
doesn't change.
I gotta get you.
Um,
Me and you have already talked about this, but I gotta get you into NXT, man. You gotta watch that NXT.
yeah, nah,
It's
so when is their next show?
I don't know when the next special is. I think it's in a couple weeks, but I mean it airs every Wednesday on the network.
I can't. I said it before. I don't like to see them how they
But it's
used to
not
be.
though. See, so this is what I wanted to reach through that interview and grab you, like when I was listening, because that's not what it is though. Like I get where you're coming from, and I get your point is very valid, but this isn't like you're not watching ROH and then watching them go to WWE and being like, man, that's not how they were in ROH. Like for the
Mhm.
most part, what you see in NXT is that's WWE's version of them. That doesn't change when they get to the main roster. Like you see Adrian Neville now every week on the main roster.
Yeah.
That's the same Adrian Neville I saw on NXT for the last 2 years. I mean, so like nothing changes. Like, but it's better because if you watch NXT, you're invested into those characters ahead of time. And then when they
Yeah.
debut on the main roster, you're like, oh shit! Like you're more stoked for it, and you're excited when they come out. Like when Paige came out, and when Bray Wyatt made his debut. Like
Yeah.
when the Ascension came out for the first time. Like when you've already seen these dudes in NXT, you're invested already into them. So it really makes the debut so much better. I mean, I'm glad that it's this way now because I didn't like the days when we were watching and then all of a sudden they're like, here's Joe Schmo
The new guy
coming down
came
the
out.
ramp and you're like, who the hell is this guy? Like, and you might know like, oh, I maybe heard this name was in developmental somewhere, but you're
Yeah.
not invested. You know nothing about them. You've never seen them perform. So you're kind of like, when you base it off their look, whatever, when they're coming down, and you're just either like care or you don't. Whereas if you watch NXT on a weekly basis, you already have your likes and your dislikes, and then when they debut on the main roster, you get more stoked because you're like, like when Sami Zayn came out on Raw Monday and fought Cena, for the U.S. title. Like,
Yeah.
that was awesome because I've been watching Sami Zayn for the last 2 years on NXT. That Sami Zayn is the same Sami Zayn from NXT.
My first time seeing Sami Zayn was that Monday. I've heard of
Yeah.
him. I've probably seen a YouTube clip here and there, but me seeing him on Monday was my first,
Right.
time
But I
seeing him.
know your
Man.
big pull was I don't want to get invested into them in one way and then see them come out on the roster and be something different. But that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. I don't really think you have to worry about that with NXT because these guys are being prepped. NXT is the playground to prep these guys for the main roster. So they're already given their gimmicks, they're already given their role and style, and that all that is the same transition to the main roster. So you're not losing anything.
So Bray Wyatt was Bray Wyatt
Yes.
in NXT. He wasn't Husky.
Well, he was Husky Harris first, and then they sent him back to NXT, and he became Bray Wyatt. And he did all of that stuff on NXT with the rocking chair, with Luke Harper and
For
Eric
real?
Rowan. He created the Wyatt family on NXT.
Oh, I never knew that.
I mean, that's where all that comes from. That's the brain trust. That's where these guys create their gimmicks, and then they get, that's where Adam Rose was born. Like it was like all this stuff debuts on NXT, and if it works, then that's the gimmick that they roll with, and then it transitions to the main roster. I mean, just in the last couple of years, I mean, we got the Shield from NXT. We got Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, and
So the Shield wasn't in the NXT.
the Shield wasn't in NXT, but the three of them were, individually. I
Yeah,
mean, Seth
I know
was
that.
first NXT heavyweight champion. So like,
Uh-huh.
so like, you already knew about them though. So you know how much better that made the Shield's debut for me.
I can understand
Because
that.
like you didn't know them, so then all of a sudden these three thugs are just jumping the barricade and they're like power bombing people, and you're like, that's cool, but you don't know who the hell they are. Like for me, I'm like, holy shit, that's Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, and like because I'm like, those are the dudes that I watch every week on NXT, and now all of a sudden they're a faction, like working together.
Yeah.
Like it makes the excitement level so much more because you're already invested into this stuff. The heavyweight champion right now is Kevin Owens, who is Kevin Steen
Yeah.
on the independent circuit. So yeah, he's not really Kevin Steen anymore, but you have to get used to who he is now as Kevin Owens. You get used to that, and then when he makes his debut on Raw, you'll be like, yeah, I already know Kevin Owens. Like like he was the shit, like on NXT, like, so like. I don't. Your argument of not watching isn't really valid for NXT because your argument is valid for somebody who was in ROH or TNA or something else and then gets signed to WWE and it like immediately comes to Raw or SmackDown, like which doesn't happen
Yeah.
anymore. If they sign any of those guys, they send them to NXT for like a year at least, and they get their new names and they become their new gimmicks, and it's those that then move to Raw or SmackDown, and if you're already familiar with them from NXT, it makes that excitement level just so much more.
I really appreciate you explaining that because I really did not know that.
I mean that's like it's all WWE.
And I was speaking more of like now that I'm thinking about it, I was speaking about guys like Daniel Bryan, who he was like this when he was in Ring of Honor, and he was like that, and
exactly.
So yeah,
when I listened to that interview, I knew where you were coming from, but I wanted to just yell to you like, it's not the same, because in the bottom line of it all, you got to know it's WWE. Triple H runs NXT. So he's not having those guys be one thing in NXT and then come to the main roster to make them be something totally different. Like, that's not the point. The point is to grow them, make them popular, and get them ready for that jump to the main roster. So why is he going to switch them up? The only switch up they might do is maybe an outfit. Like Adrian Neville's Titantron's a little bit different. He has a little purple cloak over his head. But it's the same theme music. He does all the same moves. He's the same guy. Bray Wyatt was exactly the same. But you're already invested, and it'll make you appreciate their debuts so much more. It's exciting, dude. NXT is only a 1 hour show, and they don't really have any like downtime in it. Like it's literally just like 4 matches, like straight back to back, and it's great competition, and you'll like fall in love with these characters, and then it'll just make it just so much more special to you when they hit that main roster.
So how good did it feel for you to see Bray Wyatt versus the Undertaker?
Uh, it was cool. I mean,
Because you saw him from his
yeah, yeah.
beginning.
I mean, I'm happy for Bray. I mean, I liked Bray when he was Husky Harris. Like for me, like I saw something special in that dude from the very beginning. And he's a really nice guy. I actually have a picture with him when he was Husky Harris. I met him at an NXT show in Florida like 3 or 4 years ago, and he actually wasn't wrestling that night. And he was just kind of hanging out in the crowd talking to people. And I met him, and we talked. Very. This was like this was a couple months before he became Bray Wyatt, so he was still kind of Husky Harris, but he hadn't made the transition yet. And I talked to him, and I
Yeah.
was like, "So when you making your debut? When you coming back?" I said, "I miss you, man." And he was like, "Soon, man. I'm gonna be back soon. We're working on some good stuff." And then he became Bray Wyatt a couple months after that. But I have a picture
Wow.
like arm in arm with that dude, like, and he was just the nicest guy, and I liked him. I liked him from the very beginning. I liked when he was a part of the new Nexus when CM Punk was leading them. Like
Yeah.
I felt like he just had something special about him. I liked how quick he was for a bigger guy, and like
Yes, he's amazing for his
yeah, I mean, he's
size.
super quick. He's agile. Like, I mean, I like everything about him. The only thing I'm kind of getting a little frustrated with his character right now is I'm getting a little tired of all the promos. Like, I want him to wrestle more. And I'm just every week I'm
Uh-huh.
getting just a little bit bored of like him standing in the smoke in the background and just being like, "Oh yeah," and then my father told me, and it's like it was really cool in the beginning, and it makes sense when he's talking about certain people, but it's like I don't need you to cut those kind of promos on Ryback. Like there's just it's kind of stupid, and there's no real point to it, and it's like, and it's kind of becoming too redundant for me now. Like every interview
Yeah.
with him, no, not interview, but promo from him is the same to me now. And honestly, I'm like pretty much fast forwarding through them on the DVR, like because it's just like it just becomes so blah for me now. Like there's only so much time I can hear him be like, like I whispered through the woods, and you came through the smoke and the ashes, and I said to my father, "Look at that," and and it's just like I get what he's trying to do, but it's like we've already seen him do this now for over a year, so it's just kind of become a little bit like boring to me now. So
Unless he's gonna do it on a different level, like he's going for the
yeah,
title.
yeah, I mean, if he's got a good opponent to do it with, like he was awesome for WrestleMania because we never saw Undertaker for that whole month. So he basically was just he was doing the feud by himself for that entire month,
Yeah.
building up to WrestleMania, and he did some great stuff. Like that was great and it made sense. But like I said, when his feud turns out to be Ryback, it's like I don't need 3 weeks of him just doing promos and having me be like, "Who's he talking about?" and then have it be Ryback. Like do
Yeah.
you really care that much? like you need to talk in riddles for 3 weeks for it to turn out to be Ryback? Like he needs to go against like Sting and like other, like some of these like bigger than life kind of people.
Orton.
Yeah, Orton would be a good one to go after. I mean, so I just want him to wrestle more. I really like him in the ring, and I feel like they use him almost like an Undertaker person, where he's like a special attraction. Like he only wrestles
Yeah.
like once every 3 pay-per-views, and then other than that, he just talks in riddles in the background and smoke in a smoke machine, and it's just that gets a little bit old. I want him to be like on the roster wrestling every week.
I can understand like them keeping him an attraction because he really is. He's really, really, really good in the ring, man. He moves better than some of the smaller guys,
He does, he does.
in my opinion.
So get on that NXT. You'll appreciate it.
I'm gonna watch because you explained it to me, and you see how
Yeah,
just let
yeah.
me just feel the way I
That's
felt.
why I was like, when I watch interviews or listen to interviews sometimes, and like one person feels one way, and then the person doing the interview doesn't really like combat it at all, or like give them like some another way to look at it. I'm like reaching through the mic, like, God, just let me answer this question.
That's how I used to feel listening to Future
Yeah,
Endeavors.
yeah. That's the passion of
Cause
it. You're like,
no bootlicking, no bullshit. me and you always had like the same opinion on things, and and not Corey, Nick would like he would just
Yeah,
oppose it, and then I like when you're arguing, I'm arguing with you.
yeah,
What are you talking about? Come
yeah,
on, man.
exactly. That's that's what's hard sometimes. I'm just like that's wrong info. Like especially when I listen to interviews and they give out wrong information. I'm just like that's not right, and now people are listening and getting wrong shit. So I try to make sure I'm always delivering correct information. Like if I give the news on,
You know what else I've been
huh?
watching too? I don't know if you watch. Hello? Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
sorry. Somebody just called my phone.
yeah, I know. I was like, oh, I lost you for a second.
No, I was saying that I watched The Closer. I just started watching it.
The
The
closer?
Closer.
What's the
You
closer?
never watched The Closer with the female detective? TNT?
Yeah, it's the closer.
The Closer? It's not The Closer?
No, it's the
Oh, The
closer.
Closer.
I thought that's what you're talking about. I'm like, or I don't have any idea. I don't know.
I just started watching that though. I love that. She's good.
Yeah, do you ever watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
Oh my God, yes. Yes. See, because you
Yes.
got me
So
on the
she
spot now and I
pops up
can't
on
think of
that.
these stuff. Because I'm on the spot right now. But yeah, I watched it. I love that. I started watching
Yeah.
that actually on the flight back from Puerto Rico. They have the in-flight shows, and I
Yeah.
just watched the whole first season of it,
Yes.
and I
Yes.
loved it.
I love Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and then in the second season, if you haven't watched that yet, like that chick from the closer, she pops up a couple different times, like on there. She's like one of the big boss cops.
Oh, all right.
So that's what made me think of that. But yeah, I love Brooklyn Nine-Nine. The captain, man, he kills me, dude. Kills me.
And then like he's gay, and that's
Yeah.
just it's just funny because he's like this big dude, this big manly dude, and it's just funny to me. Um, Actually, I'm gonna get the second season on DVD because I don't have like the time to sit and actually watch it. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna try to get it on DVD and just take it with me to travel with.
Nice, nice. Well, it's not out yet. The second season's actually still going on, so. But I think it's gonna end. I don't know. Maybe last night's episode was the finale. I'm not quite sure, but it's close to the end of the season. That's for sure. So it should maybe be out by the end of the
You
summer.
know what I gotta get into? Uh, I think The Flash is on Netflix or something. It is correct.
The Flash is not on Netflix, but Arrow is.
No, they have The Flash on Netflix.
It's not on Netflix. I
It's
guarantee
not.
it. It's not, because The Flash has only been on for one
No,
season, and the
Daredevil.
season's not,
Daredevil.
not
I'm
over
sorry.
yet. Yes,
Daredevil
Daredevil's on
is on
Netflix.
Netflix.
Yes,
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I want to get into that. I've heard a lot of good things about that show.
it's excellent. You'll love
Have
it.
you sat
Daredevil's
down and
awesome.
you watched it?
Oh, dude, I finished Daredevil in about 24 hours. I just binge watched all 13 episodes back to back.
That's the one I need to do. I keep hearing so many good things. People are asking me about it, and when this we live in a different time now, where especially where I'm from, people talk about stupid videos, and those things spread. So when somebody's talking about a show, it has to be good.
Yeah.
So,
It is. There's nobody I know that didn't like Daredevil. Like, I mean, that show came out on Netflix on April 10th, and I was done by April 11th because, like, it was so good. Every episode ended, and I was like, I need to see the next one. I need to see the next one, And I just kept just banging through, and it already got renewed for a second season, so it's coming back next year on Netflix, which is super exciting. I want to see Daredevil pop up in the next Avengers film. So, you know, I'm excited for all the crossover. That I hope they do. You said you're a big DC fan, so do you watch Arrow and The Flash or any of those shows?
oh, on the CW? No,
Yeah,
I don't. I don't.
you're missing
I
out.
don't. I didn't. I never liked the television series superhero shows. I was a straight comic
The,
book and movie guy. Like I didn't even like Smallville. Did you like Smallville? Yeah, I'm sure you did. You,
Oh, I love Smallville.
Superman
Yeah.
favorite.
I'm a Superman guy. Yeah, love Smallville. But I'll tell you, man. You know what? I I agree. Like the shows used to be, very hit and miss back in the day when it came to superhero shows. But they've gotten a good rap on them now. Like I'm telling you, like the Arrow is a great show, and Flash has been phenomenal. And then I also watch Agents of Shield.
Hmm.
Every week, like that's Marvel's tie-in, and they're three of my favorite shows to watch every week. Like Flash, like I said, is in its first season, but Flash has been killing it, dude. Like they have done such a spot on perfect job with Flash. Like highly recommend like checking that out. Like I mean they do such a bang up job with it. And the Flash show is set in the same universe with the Arrow show, so there's a lot of crossovers and stuff like that they'll do with each
Oh,
other,
that's good.
which is really
I
cool.
hear a lot about
Yeah.
that. Speaking with my friends that, and they always they try to tell me, yeah, you need to watch it. They got Arrow and Flash on the same episode, but it's like, I don't. Smallville really turned me off from that because
It's not like Smallville.
it's about the heroes. Because I hated that Smallville really didn't get into. I wanted to see a villain every week, but it wasn't like that. It was like the soap opera love story, and had to wait seasons before he knew he could fly.
Yeah. Well, he never flew in Smallville to the very last episode, which that did bug me because I'm like, dude, it took you 10 years to realize you can fly. You're Superman, for God's sakes. Especially when Supergirl came on the show, because like she could fly like no problem. I'm like, dude, she's your cousin.
Yeah.
Like if she can fly, you can fly. Like learn that shit. Like he's like, I'll just run there. I'm like, you're not the Flash, dude. Like fly. I never understood that, but it's different though, dude. I'm telling you, Arrow is a lot darker. They got a lot of good villains, and Flash has the special like the superpowers and stuff on it. And it works. They're really really good. I think as a DC fan, you should give them benefit
I'm
of the
definitely.
doubt.
I'm taking
Check
notes. Trust me. I got NXT, Flash, and Arrow to watch, and I really am
them
gonna
out.
watch it. Cause I mean, I usually like, and it's always you or somebody else to tell me like it's not what you think. It's not what you think.
Yeah.
And I mean, when it comes to superhero TV shows, I'm just more traditional. Like I like a villain every episode. You know what I mean? I'm like, that's what I want. I
Well,
don't want to sit through nobody's
we
love
usually
story.
pretty much get that. Yeah, I mean, you're always gonna have some sort of a little love story, but I don't think either Flash or Arrow really harp on
All
it.
right.
Like it's not what it's about every episode. There might be little elements, but they don't spend more than like 2 minutes on it. So it's like it is always about getting the villain and the ultimate, bad guy. So there's some good stuff.
Does that make me a little bit outdated, Don?
Eh, I wouldn't really say outdated, but you got to broaden your horizons a bit.
Yeah.
you know, you got to give stuff a chance. But Arrow's on Netflix, so I mean, you could check out the first season, see what you think, of there. But Flash just started, so Flash. I know for like especially like my group of guys that we're all like big comic book fans. We all love Flash, Arrow, Shield. Like so, I think that kind of proves like the theory. Because I mean, especially a couple of my friends here that are on Red Dragons Radio and stuff, like they're really hardcore comic book fans. So they kind of watch like from a little bit of a different aspect, because they're looking to get what the comic book gives them,
Yeah.
and they love all the shows. So I mean, that kind of proves like they're done pretty well. So
That's how I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna give it a sit down.
well,
Where do you
alrighty,
suggest
man.
I watch NXT from?
I suggest you watch it from the network.
No, like how far back should I be going?
Oh, I don't think you should really need to go back, to be honest. Just start watching
All right.
it and go forward. I mean, especially because they are going to do that special here in like a week or so. I think it's like May 21st or something. Like, I think it's next Wednesday, maybe, or in 2 weeks. I don't remember exactly. But the NXT does like kind of like I don't want to call it like a pay per view, but it's almost like their special. It's like their pay per
Hmm.
view called NXT Takeover, and it'll be like, because like I said, NXT is only an hour long, every Wednesday, and then like once every like 3 months or so, they'll do like NXT Takeover, and it'll be like a 2-hour show, and it's basically in essence like an NXT pay-per-view. And so that's coming up in a couple weeks. So I think this is a good point to start watching, because then you'll get like invested into some of the characters, and you'll know about like what's coming up on the special in a couple weeks, and then watch the special and like it. I mean, those NXT specials sometimes are like better than every WWE pay-per-view in the entire year, you know, besides WrestleMania. So, you know, they kill it.
What
you know,
are they
because those,
filming at?
it's in Florida. They do it at a university in Orlando.
The Full Sail University, right?
Full Sail University, yeah.
So they get the
So it has a
same
very,
audience
like,
all the time?
pretty much, but they're a rabid little audience. Because they know those characters very, very well. So everybody gets a pretty good pop, and you know, or if they're a heel, they get, you know, good booing. But they have a good setup there. I mean, it's nice because it has a totally different look of a show compared to like Raw and SmackDown, because it's a lot smaller. It's very intimate, you know. But they have the same kind of Titantrons and stage and stuff like that, and everybody's got theme musics, and you know, and it's really cool. I mean, it's like I said, it's their introduction to getting ready for the main roster.
All right, man. Thank you, man.
So let's go ahead and wrap this baby up. I'm going to be playing Stone Cold Stunna here in a second, and you can check that out. But Sparrow, thank you so much for coming on the show, man. It's been a long time coming. We've been talking for probably the last year on trying to get you on this thing, and you know, we've been bouncing around. So I'm glad that we were able to get it together and get it out there for the masses. You know, it was a good, fun conversation. I hope people enjoy it, and check this boy out, because I mean, he's a hard worker, and you know, support the man. You know, so you know, so once again, you could follow him on Twitter at Toy Sparrow. Any other links you want to shout out for where people can check your stuff out?
Instagram, I'll put up clips there. Spa77ow. YouTube.com/The Real Black Money. That's The Real BLAKKMONEY. My Facebook music page, Sparrow, SPA770W, and my website, www.sparrow.com. That's the hub where you can find everything at. Sparrow, SPA770W. I want to say thank you to Red Dragons Radio. Thank you to Am I Still on the Air? Thank you to DX DONMEGA. Thank you for having me. Thank you for playing my record and consistently every week. And I really appreciate that.
Hell yeah, man. I mean, fan for life. You got it unlocked. So go support him. Check him out. Keep an eye on his website, you know, at sparrow.com for that tour, you know, and go and support him if he comes to a town near you. And definitely make sure you follow him on Twitter and Facebook and the whole nine. And we'll send out some links as well. We'll be definitely promoting this episode up. And, you know, if you need anything, you can also, if you want to set something up with him, you can always reach out to his entertainment group over at Black Money. Like I said, you can follow them on Twitter at BLAKK Money. So thanks again so much. Really had a great time talking with you. And as we sign out here, once again, hot off the Toys EP hitting stores on 7/7/15 and your iTunes and everywhere. This is Stone Cold Stunna. Until next time, peace.
What's another 7-letter word for incredible? SPA77ow. Now you in trouble, Duke, Block, or Trail. You're out dropping the AIDS victim, got more cells. See, I'm hearing past the fences, I'm feeling quite extensive. I'm pretty much offensive to a hater, 5 senses. I'm smelling so expensive, I'm tasting my expensive. In 2020, find a way to see my existence. You could be a victim, we don't need a witness. Aiming at your gums like a needle from a dentist. I'm saying shit about ya, so fuck up, that's better strap on the toilet when I slap this shit out ya. Before y'all niggas step to me, tap your fucking head, rub your belly at the same time, spell hysterectomy. Days gon' follow, fuck yesterday, just don't get ahead of yourself like tomorrow. And who am I to follow? Nigga, do yours. This is my life, homie, you decide yours. A few of our cars, see this here to Robin Williams, you can tell by the suicide doors. Fuck all the chatting about when you avoid your reflection, that's your shadow of doubt. I know looters, you get zoed up with the purchasing, and they'll turn Fifth Fab into Ferguson. And your broads ain't that bad, so play nicer. Boy, my bitch is straight knock out like a Ray Ricer. And we couldn't be different than day-nighter. And nigga, we don't even match, you a straight lighter. You lame niggas get just this work, and you can make the best sparrow from just this verse. No kid, you got him in the zone. Sandwich in my slippers, I'm already home, I'm already gone. While they figure out what's the next move, they shit where they sleep for these niggas in restrooms. I'm cleaning out, they all got rattled. I'm a household name, I'm Clorox Sparrow. And your parents, I'm going at them dread. Your life should've ended in that towel by the bed, dead. Niggas can't contain our moves, and I'm slicker than the friction on James Brown shoes. You got a dream to break my rent? Boy, you wore that ass down, wouldn't break the sweat. Fuck out of here. Soy VP on the way, so here's to ya.
I'm drinking.